would you say that you had to build this business into your life in order for you to become successful in it? Because I feel like outside looking in, people hear business and they think everything else has to shut down, right? So in terms of building this business, as you may say, I mean, would you agree that this is something that is a lifestyle and you build it into your current life?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not sure that there's any other way to pursue a business with Amway.
Right.
You know, I was so busy before I saw this opportunity. My brother and I had a photography thing on the side. We both had full-time work. And, you know, I was volunteering for a charity organization, putting in a lot of hours into that. So I had a pretty packed calendar. But I chose to be a part of the business. I saw it. It made sense to me. My friend was also there, so that was a huge pull for me too. And so since I chose, I made the space and time in my schedule for my business.
Some of the reasons that I thought this would be the perfect environment and platform for me was I would drive an hour and a half, 4 times a week, one way after work to get to Michigan State University for my evening classes and then drive back. So it'd typically be midnight by the time I got back home, and then I'd go to bed and wake up and then, you know, get to work. So I had a lot on my plate, but what made so much sense with the Amway business was, you know, I could build my business while I was pursuing my master's degree and my job. You know, I just had to put a few other things aside. So I was just thinking about that when you had asked the question. I wanted to ask you a question, or both of you, is a lot of my growth came from developing certain habits. And I'm just curious what kind of habits you developed.
When I first got introduced to this, I was playing collegiate basketball at the time, and obviously being, you know, a collegiate athlete, you had a schedule that you committed to, and you and your whole life is that sport. So when I saw this, I couldn't go all in or full fledged because I had so many other commitments that were already there. And as I, you know, continue to build the business while pursuing a collegiate career, I came to a crossroad where I thought that I could get more value out of, putting more time and effort into this business rather than continue to pursue basketball. And to be quite honest, that was probably one of the toughest decisions that I ever made, because basketball was my identity. Being able to kind of get into this community, it was amazing because I saw so much parallels in basketball and athletics here. Having competitors, having competition, having goals, having things that you're working towards. And every day this became the game of life became what I really started to really fall in love with, right? I played a game of basketball, but life itself had way more benefits and more tangible things. I kind of just really I loved every single aspect of what this business kind of represented in the sense of this became kind of the game of basketball for me.